I cleaned their houses. I cleaned their yards. I cleaned their yacht club. Something felt wrong about it all, but I couldn't quite place what. Maybe they should have paid, fed, educated, or given me an opportunity of some kind so that I wouldn't be so confused by their smiley faces and hollow words. The unease lingered like a shadow I couldn't shake, a whisper of déjà vu. Then came the internet, that vast digital frontier that would unlock secrets I never knew existed. Initially, I only used it for schoolwork, occasionally stumbling upon interesting glitches in various websites. But then one day, while surfing digital waves, I fell down a whirlpool vortex rabbit hole into the past. My ancestors were building the state capitol dome. I heard their voices echo through time. They had worked from nothing to become one of the country's wealthiest families. Great-great-grandmother had learned the language of their Native American neighbors, who called themselves Indians then, due to a historical misunderstanding that became their identity. She served as a translator, building bridges between communities. It was beautiful. But then I saw deeper into the past. 70 years earlier, the indigenous people faced relocation to reservations far from their fertile farmland. The chief and his people staged peaceful protests, refusing to leave when ordered. The governor's response was swift and brutal. He declared martial law and war erupted. The chief and his followers were vanquished as an example. Thousands of their people were banished to a small island, left to perish from starvation and exposure to the elements. Without farmland, the survivors struggled to feed their children. My great-great-grandparents stood with them. They advocated before the government, supporting the tribal nations' protest against the unjust treaty. For daring to support their neighbors, they paid a heavy price. The government stripped them of their credit, land, businesses, and contracts. Our family struggled for generations afterward. Yet we survived, which is why I exist today. The island where I grew up was the same island where they had imprisoned the tribal nations. And the people I'd spent my life working for, they were some of the descendants of the prison guards. Finally, I understood their cruelty. Their culture was shaped by sadness and anger from the past, and they couldn't let it go because they never knew how they had gotten there. But understanding didn't make it right. My surfboard was broken. I had to find my own way out of the rabbit hole. I journeyed for days through the past and then years. I grew a big fuzzy beard. The shadow seemed scared of me at times, so I reminded them how to laugh. And when I finally emerged from the hole, I was changed. The climb towards light was long and difficult, and I find myself back where I started. Yet everything looks different now. Though I may still be searching for my path, I know who I am, and, more importantly, who I am not. I won't work for them anymore. I should never have had to. I was just a child then. Instead, I'll dedicate myself to correcting the historical wrongs that continue to ripple through time into the present. The culture must change, and my life will stand as testament to that change. For in understanding our past, we gain the power to shape our future.
We do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children.